Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joe Coffey, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
You know Joe Coffey?
No.
What's your favorite joke from him?
What?
I'm just kidding. So what do you think? Have you seen Joe Coffey's show?
I have, but it's been like over a year since I've gotten out because I work a lot.
What about his radio show?
I haven't heard it yet.
You haven't heard it? It's on every Wednesday at 5:30. Well, no, come in. We need one more.
No. You're
Your favorite Joe Coffey joke in 1 minute.
I don't know who Joe Coffey is.
No? He has a show on Denton Radio.
No.
So what about Richie Flo? He's his co-host. Nobody? Today on the show he has Jamie Gravy.
I'm trying to pull it away from you.
This is the best interview ever. Thank you. So Joe Coffey has a show.
I'm supposed to say that?
No, I'm asking you.
Joe Coffey has a show. I don't understand.
He has a show on Denton Radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah, I was over there one day. You were in.
Yeah. Okay. Did you like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I hung around.
So one thing it did, and I don't know if y'all saw, because there's like been people like protesting and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there's been some people who are trying to take down some of the poetry on the square. What do you think about that?
I think I'm tired of people complaining about stuff that it's.
Have you read it though? Have you read any of the poetry?
Yeah, I like it. I like poetry. Yeah, it needs to stay.
There you go.
And people need to quit
trying to get the poetry removed.
Complaining about stuff.
It's just poetry.
That's part of the neighborhood.
Thank you very much.
It was put there by some really creative people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought you were gonna ask about.
So, Nikolai, you've been listening to the show. What do you think?
It's good.
Okay, so Denton Radio, are y'all familiar? Y'all live in Denton?
I go to UNT. I'm a freshman, so I'm fairly new to everything.
Y'all should check out Denton Radio. Are y'all familiar with Joe Coffey?
We are not.
He has a show on Denton Radio. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's cool, right? Yeah. What do y'all do? Y'all are students?
I'm an anthropology major.
Nice, and you?
I'm a biology major.
Okay, so today on his show he has Jamie Gravy on.
I'm not aware of who that is.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You know Joe Coffey?
I don't know Joe.
You know Richie Flo?
No.
He's the co-host. That's me.
Oh,
that's
nice to meet you, Richie.
Cool. Okay, so I don't know if how long y'all been in Denton or if y'all have heard, but there's been a lot of like protesting and stuff recently in the streets, right? Yeah. So one of the things that a lot of people want to do is they want to take down some of the poetry around Denton just because it's not very good. So do y'all think we should
poetry? Wait, what do you mean? Like, are people putting up like?
No, like right over down, I think that's Hickory Street, there's like some little columns and on them there's just like some not very good poetry.
Like on the telephone poles, kind of?
No, they're just like little square like monuments almost, but they just have some poetry on it. But if y'all want to read them, I don't have any copies of it, but it's just.
I think there are bigger things to worry about than people's poetry,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't read them yet, so
So would you even care?
I don't know if I want to make a statement because they could. What if they're like awful, horrible things?
No, they're not. I mean, they're not great, but you've never seen them, right?
No.
So it wouldn't really matter if they got rid of them.
No, just let people do what they want to do. It's their words. Let them live their lives. It's okay.
Wait, is it political or what is it?
I think one of them has like "Sweet Mountain Air" is like one of the lines. I don't really know. There's no mountains in Denton.
Yeah, it doesn't really concern me. They should be able to do what they want, and I feel like if it enhances the square, maybe adds some culture.
All right, cool.
It'd be, I guess, better for it. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read the poetry. I don't want to make like too big of a statement.
Well, thank y'all. I work for Denton Radio on a show with Joe Coffey. Are y'all familiar with Joe Coffey?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, he has a radio show, and today he has
Jamie
Gravy on. Are y'all familiar with him?
No.
No. What about his co-host Richie Flo?
No.
No. Okay. Either way, that's cool. No worries. Okay. So I don't know if y'all know though, but a lot of people have been like protesting in Denton lately and stuff like that. Yeah. And one of the big things is people are trying to get some of this poetry removed.
Huh. Why?
Read some.
read it?
Read some of it.
Just say it out loud.
Yeah, out loud.
Oh, okay. Tornadoes shimmy north and east, but the rest of life heads west, westbound into the sinking sun to dreams and songs yet unsung. But high in these hickories we hear that granite beat the 26 bones in each of our feet, keeping time and time.
So far, what do you think?
So far, I'm kind of confused. I haven't caught on yet.
Okay, what about you?
I mean, I don't understand what's wrong with it.
All right, you read some and let her hear it.
Okay. The sweet nectar of jazz, the stout owl of blues, boundless inside the suede of our shoes, time, time, keeping time and time, courthouse bells, licking each brassy hour, like the strike of the blacksmith and the tongues of fire. I still don't get it.
Yeah, we're not very poetic people, but
Would
I
y'all
kind of.
would y'all keep it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it.
But couldn't there be better? Like I'm actually a rapper.
I don't want to say since I don't completely understand it.
Okay, do y'all listen to any hip hop, or who do y'all listen to? If so,
I listen to kind of everything.
would you listen to this?
Person.
If it had like a good beat to it, maybe.
All right, I'll make a beat and you just read the first 4 lines. Ready?
Okay. Tornadoes shimmy north and east, but the rest of life heads west. Westbound into the sinking sun to dreams and songs yet unsung.
All right, that was pretty
See,
cool.
that sounded good.
But it was nonsense, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
Welcome.
No problem.
Thanks.
Okay, no, but what does this mean?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I want to know.
I don't know either.
No one knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey. Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Why?
Joe Coffey has a show. I don't understand.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Oh, I did not know. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Sure. Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
Hey! Now just go wop 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 wop.
What?
Perfect. Did you laugh?
No.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. How do you do? I don't know how to count.
Well, let me see. So what's after 3?
It's a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes beats, so
Nobody
it's
knows.
a different
Really?
thing.
Nobody knows Joe Coffey.
What isn't that the same exact thing?
No,
Someone who makes
Musicians-
beats aren't
musicians-
A beat maker, a beat producer is not a musician.
no, musicians like see me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like we should make music together," and then they come over and try to make music with me, and they realize they're way better at like music theory and stuff than I am.
Music theory. What
Music
is
theory.
music theory?
I can't teach it all to you in one day.
Give me an example of what.
I don't even know it. I don't
you
know
don't even
music
know.
theory.
No.
No,
So you're not a musician.
I'm not a musician. Nope.
Just a beat maker, bro.
I just make beats.
Beats.
See, here's the thing:
Episode
when you
18.
don't know what you're doing, but there's people that are like, "Hey, I like what you're doing." You just keep not
just
doing
keep-
stuff that you don't know what you're doing.
Just keep going into the dark.
Going
so what
to
was
the
up?
room.
What was up? That poetry? That's just a bit. The poetry. Just
Yeah, I
writing
love
a
all the
bit?
poetry.
You just trolling.
I know that
trolling?
if you tell somebody like, "Hey, you don't like this," usually they like take that tone. They're
You're a
like, "Oh
mess.
yeah, I don't like that. The ingredients."
It truly is a master troll job.
Have you read the ingredients?
The ingredients to our Discover Denton water: local arts and music, eclectic shopping, unique dining, and horse country. I don't understand that, Jake. What's going on here?
Who did that? What does that mean?
And we got for those that aren't on the video, we have Discover Denton water. We have water for the Denton radio station, and it's sponsored water, and that's cool. Jamie Gravy is our guest today, episode 18. Everybody,
18.
We have a full. If everybody can, we can't pan to the crowd over there, but we have a full crowd right now watching us.
yeah,
Hey,
a
what's
live
up, everyone?
studio audience, all
Take
of
care.
them.
So
They
many
got
people.
signs.
I see you.
This is
There's-
actually the first time we've had nobody here watching in a little bit.
Yeah.
Nobody truly knows today. What happened?
Nobody shows.
So what's up, man?
Nobody shows.
Nobody shows. The nobody knows shows. What's been up?
Man, nothing much. I'm glad to be here. Beautiful day up in Denton.
Yeah.
Having a cup of Joe myself, you know.
Yeah. We all have some coffee. I quit actually coffee for a while. Like I was kind of a traitor to the name.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't really like drink. If I was gonna drink caffeine, I would drink tea.
Joe T.
Joe T.
Joe T. Garcia.
Joe T. Garcia. That place is amazing.
It's a great place.
That's like a.
Have you been there, Richie?
It's like if the Alamo just opened up as a restaurant, right? That's how it is. Like I've been there. Have you ever been there and tried to find a restroom?
Is the only one the
huge.
location in Fort Worth? Is that the only Joe T. Garcia's there?
It's the only one I know of.
It stretches from Fort Worth to Dallas, though.
And you can only order 2 things on the menu.
Yeah.
You get the Mexican dinner where they just bring you a bunch of that's what it's called, dude.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying whoa, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
No, you get the Mexican dinner, or what's the other, fajitas or something?
Yeah,
No, you get an enchilada dinner with tacos. I just went there recently.
Really?
And I got the fajitas
You
and the taco. You can just get all of it.
You balling? You can just go to Joe T. Garcia's?
My mom had a birthday. Shout out to my mom and her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Pretty cool.
No, but I hadn't been drinking coffee or any of that for a while. And lately I've just been doing road so much, driving all the time. So I just been pounding coffee,
nonstop.
Dude, if I always have a cup of coffee by me, I can literally sit there, smoke cigarettes, and go 9 hours just zoning in, and it's
crazy. I've never done that in my life. No, I've never driven.
Have you ever traveled to do hip hop or magic?
Yeah, but I was never driving.
Co-hosting for a radio show?
I never drove. I'm always I just sit shotgun or in the back, which is
you're just chilling. Where's the coolest place you performed out of Denton, out of DFW?
Austin's always cool because Austin's funny because Austin has it's different than here. So here, at least me and my friends that rap like me, we all just rap about walking around and doing crazy stuff. But over there, it's kind of movement hip hop. You know what I mean? So
woke hip hop.
You go to a show and everyone's
woke
AF. Hey man, I love the energy in here. Everybody, put your hands up. We're gonna work together on this, and we're gonna connect with each and every one of y'all.
Sure.
And then I get up there and I'm just profane, just weird, and everyone's like, what is this?
Well, I mean,
why is this? Why he's not for the cause?
Jamie and I can relate to DFW from what I've seen. DFW hip hop, which is a lot of rappers in the crowd watching rappers, and I think we've talked about this on the show before. And they're just not reacting because it's rappers watching rappers.
You're
so
right.
They're just standing there all acting cooler than the guy who's acting cool on stage.
Which it honestly that's almost the same with comedy in the area. Depending on what room you get. Now, some rooms are more supportive of others. That's kind of why I like Denton comedy because Denton comedy seems to be more supportive of the comics that are on stage.
Yeah.
While other places, it's they're just waiting to do their time. They're talking in the back,
Yeah, not trying to toot my own horn, but Killers, for example, is when it's a good room, when it's bad, it's terrible. When everyone's just I don't. But that's just any open mic. But when that room is really good, it has it just has a certain energy that is hard to match. It's a lot of fun in there sometimes.
It's true. No, I love Killers. That's one of my favorite places. Really,
good,
to
intimate, small room.
Yeah. I like the room a lot. It's really cool the way you said intimate. It's real chill there. You can tell it's it used to be a house.
I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, they have they have the what is it? The little garden, the little Zen garden in the bathroom.
Yeah, they have the little.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I will sit there and play in the sand for 30 minutes.
I'm just waiting for someone to treat that like a litter box. It's right next to the toilet.
I'm surprised someone doesn't walk in with their own cat and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, every time I walk in to my after show pee, it's just a tradition, and then I go in. There's always some profanity written in that sand. You can't give comedians an opportunity to draw on the sand.
I always do this thing where
Grown men.
I think about okay, I'm about to do a show. I'm behind the stage or wherever I am waiting, and then once I get up there, I'm I didn't pee.
Yeah, that's the worst.
If I would have just peed, this would have been not so cool. But I didn't even think about it.
I pee any time before I get on stage, or I at least think about it because I psych myself out. You know, it's a nervous, weird. I have a joke about it. I can't say it on here, and I'm not going to run jokes on air anyway. But it's a true thing that I think about, because I'm scared of the fact, especially if it's a 30-minute, a long set. I've been doing a lot of those lately, and that's so scary. You get up there in that first 5 minutes, you're oh man,
I knew I should have peed.
And all you have up there with you is a microphone and a bottle of water.
Yeah.
This isn't going to help. Austin, have you performed in Austin, Jamie?
I've never actually.
Really?
Never.
Wow. 3 hours away, man.
I know. I'd like to get down there. Just
See,
yeah.
The first time I went to Austin, it was really, really cool. The venue was cool, but afterwards we went on the street and there was this guy playing drums, and I have footage of this. There was a guy just playing drums on a bucket. And I was just like, my friend was filming. We were just filming a bunch of stuff, and I was like, hey, just film me freestyling. So I just like started rapping. Well,
people gather around
that. Then 2 people came, and they started like rapping with me, but they were really, really terrible. Well, next thing you know, there's like 50, there's like 50 people around us, and everyone's just like waiting for me. And it's just like this huge moment that was like so cool. And like,
that's so funny.
I've tried to recreate it, but
you can never do that.
No,
you know
I'm like, hey, come rap with me while this guy plays drums.
Yeah.
And people are like,
it's never been as good.
Yeah,
no.
man.
You've been to Austin before.
Yeah, I've been to Austin.
Stuff like that always goes down in Austin. Though Austin, like, you know, I mean, in parts of Denton, just like Denton at times, it has like this weird charm where stuff like that will.
Next thing you know, there's a barbershop quartet on the square.
Yeah, exactly.
Haven't seen one yet, but that would be.
I actually recently did a gig in Austin, and it was at we were performing at like the bar at the bottom, like in a hostel. And so when I heard that, I mean, I've been to some American hostels before, and American hostels are not like the movie Hostel does a disservice to European hostels because they're actually like really nice and upscale and pretty cool from like what I've heard from people. I've never
pretty
gone
much
over.
Scared me out of ever trying a hostel. Was because of that
I
movie.
heard they're great out there actually from a lot of people. Like, you know, in travels you meet people who like have gone over. Anyway, at like Airbnbs you'll meet people, and I've heard them talk about hostels and like how good they are. And we went to this one in Austin because I've been to American ones, and they've been filth, they've been trash. And this one in Austin was like upscale, super nice, real intimate, low ceiling room, like great show. Native Hostel in Austin. If you're ever there, check it out. There needs to be. Are there hostels in Denton, Jake? You discovered Denton, guy. Is there no? Do we have any hostels out here?
I know we have 500 Airbnbs.
500 Airbnbs?
Yeah.
Man, that's the way to go, dude.
Okay. And we have many
under the umbrella of the term Airbnb. So, like, if you go to Airbnb, you're not going to find 500 locations, but there's 500 Airbnb-esque.
I like Airbnb.
And last I checked, don't we have many, many wonderful hotels?
Yes.
Which are our sponsors for today's no. No. Thank you for that segue. Again, looking for sponsors. But anyway, as he points to the camera.
One of the Airbnbs is a sponsor. We want to thank Tim and Rachel
over
the sponsor of the show.
They have over at 240 Bluebonnet Place. Make sure you check them out while they sleep.
Lovely Airbnb.
B&B, one of those B's is breakfast. Oh, is it bed and breakfast?
Their garage code.
Bed and breakfast?
Yeah.
Air bed and breakfast?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Their garage code is 6901. The cat's name is Doofus.
Yeah.
That's my grandparents' cat's name, Doofus. It's such a ridiculous name.
Oh, man.
I love people that name their cats like human names, like Alex.
Yeah,
Alex.
You know? Oh, come here, Alex.
Yeah, it's like I have a buddy who has one that's Steve, and that's really funny
Steve's
to me.
great. Rodney, I met a Rodney. As a
Howard,
dog.
my friend, she has a cat named Howard.
Oh, those are such great. I think if I get a cat, it's gonna be Dennis.
I mean,
Dennis the cat.
my bunny rabbit's name is Milborn, which is pretty cool. I like the name Milborn.
That is. What's the other one's name?
Rabble Jenkins.
Okay, nice. Speaking of Airbnb, Airbnb's awesome. Past when I did Chicago and Boston this past summer, I stayed in an Airbnb, which was awesome. You just got back.
I did.
From Boston. Segue, you see that work?
That was very good segue.
I really
see what you're doing there.
I was about to do a
the
Boston
brain muscles.
Joe knows how to do a segue.
Right. I'm learning some things in this live broadcast. Dude, it is so much more different than stand-up.
It's weird, right?
Speaking of
I think
segue,
I'm getting a little bit better at this.
Did y'all see that they discontinued Segway?
Segways? No, we're not allowed to do segways anymore.
Like Segway tours or in the city?
We're banned from doing unclever segways.
No.
Sign the contract,
the
Joe.
Segway,
no bad segways.
The scooter, the one-man scooter things. They're no longer making those.
Oh, why? Because people are like falling and dying.
George Bush fell off, about 6 or 7 years ago.
And then that started the movement. They're like, all right, we got to stop.
Well, now what about the hoverboards? Because I feel like the hoverboard's more dangerous because it doesn't
the
even have a
hoverboard
handle.
to hold. I'm going to say something. I never rode a hoverboard, and I really wish when it first came out, I was like, I'm getting one of those. And then it was like, I'm not getting one of those. I never got one, never rode one. So if any of my friends have one.
Well, I'm such a tall, lanky guy as it is, you know, and like I know
center of gravity is
it's way off. And I was already terrible at skateboarding as a kid. I didn't do it. I stuck with like roller skates and would do aggressive inlining when I was younger. Man, I got on one of those
fruit booting. As the skateboarders called it.
It was not good. I got on my brother's, just this past year. I mean, mind you, I'm like 28, so I got on this thing. and I almost busted so bad. Like off the first one, I was like, okay, I'm getting off this thing before something bad happens.
I don't understand how anybody can do it. Like I understand that there's like it uses like robotics.
Skateboarding or anything like hoverboarding or any kind of like, I guess, sport, like, on wheel sport where you can really mess yourself up.
Yeah.
It's a lot like comedy to get good at it, like it's a lot of falling, hitting your face or, busting a rib and then like, except, comedy's that mental pain.
A lot of embarrassment either way.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I try and go snowboarding like once a year out in Colorado, and the worst place to fall is like under a lift when people are going up. You know what I mean? And I seem to always fall like that when people are passing, and it's like in front of people.
Yeah.
And like, people be like, you hurt. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, only my ego. That's the only thing.
Just the pride.
Hurt right now. It's a lot like skateboarding, a lot like stand up and just like falling, trying. And you're going to have to just keep doing it. But anyway, segue. I don't know how to segue that. Boston, man. How was it?
Man, yeah, Boston was incredible.
I went this summer too, man.
Yeah, it's a great city just in general. I mean, we could talk about the city just alone because that's an amazing
So how you've
place.
been? How many times? You told me earlier before the show. Twice?
Yeah, I've only been once before this last weekend. So this weekend was my second time ever to go.
Which we'll get into the weekend, but when you first went, how long did you stay in Boston?
First time I went for about 4 days. Went with some buddies about 3 years ago. Gorgeous city. As far as downtowns and just buildings are concerned, I remember telling somebody over this past weekend too, Boston has to have some of the prettiest buildings I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, like
just
such old historic like buildings in there too. Like even the Chipotle looks like it was built in the Pilgrimage. You know what I mean? Like,
so cool, man. The cobblestone and even
beautiful
just
churches
newer,
and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. The with all these vines growing up around it because some of these churches have been there since the 1700s. You know.
Did you have a lobster roll? Have you ever had a lobster roll before?
Didn't have a lobster roll.
You know what a lobster roll is?
Isn't it the tail?
It's tail and claw. I think it's mixed kind of with like a cold mayonnaise and something else, and it's
like
put on like a white bread.
I'm not a huge mayonnaise-covered lobster guy.
It's good.
Same, not really a mayonnaise.
It's good.
Fan.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cold, and the lobster's
Can you do it
cold,
with mustard?
Like a cold wrap, really.
Yeah, it's interesting. It might be better hot. I've never had it hot.
I would prefer. That's how I like just things in general.
Yeah,
I
like a hot food.
But no, as soon as I got there, I made sure to go to this. It's called the Barking Crab.
Yeah,
it's
I know about the
off
Barking
Seaport.
Crab. Yep.
I went right there. It's like right off the harbor. So I had a bowl of clam chowder. And
you got a Boston impersonation, Richie? You got some good impersonation?
Yeah. Rounders.
What's a rounder?
I don't know.
Talking about that Damon movie, right?
Yeah. Boston.
Which one? Damon Departed?
He was in. No, that was at Rounders. The movie is Rounders.
Oh, the movie is
with
Rounders?
John Malkovich.
Really?
And Matt Damon. But I don't think he was Boston at that point. Matt Damon was more Boston in The Departed. So I think he's blending.
The Departed is my favorite movie.
It's a great movie.
See, it's such a and it's such a nice city, and I love how movies make it out to be just this, entirely crime-ridden. Like, it's such a beautiful place. There are parts, like just any city.
Sure.
There are parts.
More around like the Tea Party spot. Like we've always talked about the Tea Party every time we bring up Boston.
Yeah, and you'll meet people with the accent, but the movies, man, they do it up like hardcore.
That's like when I went to Australia and everyone was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you doing?" And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
and I was like,
the
"Where's
thunder
that
from down under, man?"
And they're like,
"Howdy, partner."
Like, we don't really
from
talk
Australia.
Like that. They're like, we don't really talk like that. Are you kidding me?
How you doing, partner?
Yeah, I was kidding. I've never been to Australia. I don't know how they talk.
God, I hate you so much. You're trolling me on my own show right now. You're poetry panning my
y'all
show.
like going along with it. You're like, y'all know Australians that don't have Australian accents.
Yeah,
I know it too.
I felt so gypped.
Of that experience.
We lost our accents on the internet.
Oh my god.
G'day, mate.
Good
day, mate.
And those movies literally, like, no matter how much they over Boston. Those are like my favorite movies, like, Boondocks or Departed or just anything with like crime and you're like, there's just like such a great crime city.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
Such a great city to watch people get shot in apparently on TV.
Yeah,
you're just like,
I think it has to do with the accent. Like the accent definitely adds to like the crime, like feel and vibe. I feel like,
it really
like
does.
if you want somebody like shooting a gun, you definitely want them like talking about like, yeah, I'm gonna bury you in the harbor. You know what I mean? There's something about that you want.
I'm gonna bury you in the harbor.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to go.
Put you in the trunk of the car. You're going to be down there in a minute.
I'm going to put you in the trunk of my car.
Yeah, it's an Oldsmobile. It's a 76.
It's Jason Bateman. That's what I think. I feel like we're. You know what's funny is we posted the promo video of you, and you've gotten this, I'm sure, 100 times. We posted a promo video of you on Instagram, and someone commented thinking you were Andy Samberg at first.
Oh yeah, I get Samberg or Tosh almost like daily.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I get a lot of Frank Zappa.
Oh yeah, I can see Frank Zappa.
Or
for you,
Stephen Weatherby from 3rd grade. Me and him looked similar.
Yeah,
I still get people messaging me.
Really? So basically, the way it works is if my hair is short, it's Daniel Tosh. If my hair is long and it gets shaggy, it's Andy Samberg. And the Andy Samberg is the only one I take offense to because it basically is saying like, "Hey, you've got a huge Jew nose," and it's just like, "Well, thanks. I don't know what that means, but that's fine."
Yeah, it's like I get like I'll go to Arlington Improv and I've been called a Matt Damon looking boy. So
well, Arlington, that makes sense.
What part of Arlington? Boy. They're essentially just like anytime they're like white guy. Oh, Matt Damon. Like that's.
No, I can see that though. You have like a George Clooney.
George Clooney.
No, not like. I'm not saying his face.
Thank you.
Yeah, about to say that's a huge compliment.
I'll just have like a similar like.
Cadence?
Shoulder to the elbow.
Oh, okay.
Minus the neck.
Biceps.
Yeah, you got a big. You got big shoulders.
I got some Clooney biceps.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not trying to like throw him under any bus. Yeah. I look terrible whenever I'm trying to swim. Like
I don't think you threw him under the bus. You told me he looked like George Clooney. It's like the sexiest man alive.
We swam together. We swam together this summer.
Because I have a pool at my house, and Richie came over and used my pool.
I was not very impressed
with my swimming.
With Joe,
I lay on a floaty the whole time.
I know.
I lay down.
Not with your swimming, just
without the shirt on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, okay. I mean, have you ever seen Patrick Stewart without a shirt on? He's an old man, but he's buff.
Sure.
Joe's looks like he would be buff, but he's.
I think you wear a shirt in the pool, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Just to make everyone else uncomfortable.
Just to make them, feel weird.
You don't want to see me without a shirt. I look like I've got a lady's physique, awesome. So it doesn't look good.
I do then.
Yeah, you do want to see that.
I got just like average guy bod.
Yeah, so average.
Like, it's just
which is in, the dad bod's in.
Yeah.
No, it was in 2 years ago.
I don't even have dad bod yet. I don't have enough hair or like fluff to get that like dad. So I'm like in this weird in between stage,
Sure.
Yeah. So it's super. So Arlington Improv, Boston. Let's get down to it. I mean, you got a pretty awesome opportunity, I guess.
So sweet.
If you want to talk about it, I mean, from the start,
sure.
I guess. You got booked at Arlington Improv.
Got booked in Arlington Improv. I got to open for Eddie Griffin. This was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. The Arlington Improv here in Texas. It was a 2-man show. It was just me and Eddie Griffin. Because he goes so long in his set, they didn't want to add a third act.
Right.
Your MC, your feature, your headliner. So it was just me and Eddie. And I still only did an MC's time. I still did just about 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Because he went for like an hour 45 to 2.5, roughly, depending on the show.
That's awesome already for you because to you, they tell you 10 to 12. You're like, oh, yeah, I got
fine.
this. You know what I mean? You have 10 to 12 minutes of good material.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Alley-oop.
And it was very, very good. After the 4 shows we did, Friday and Saturday, at the end of Saturday, we were backstage, we were kind of talking. I was taking a picture with Eddie, and he just goes, man, I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of white comedians do what you're trying to do and not be able to get away with it.
Because, I mean, full disclosure, it's a predominantly African-American room.
Right,
Arlington Improv. It's predominantly African-American audience. They pull a lot of African-American comics. And sometimes it's really, really fun. And then sometimes, you just can't connect, and that's rough. Just, it works both ways in comedy. And that also works. I've heard it like African-American, male and females talk about, like female comics talk about how hard it is sometimes to connect to a room and stuff. So it's just like full disclosure for anyone that doesn't know about stand-up. There's weird, like, demographics to it.
Sure.
And it's hard to play to certain rooms, and you have to play it a different way.
Yeah, it's really weird, and that's what's
you do really good at improv. Every time I see you there, you do great.
Well, that's what's been so odd about just kind of figuring out where I stand in the comedy scene is honestly to be black audiences have been my best so far. It's been actually better than even my quote unquote white rooms, so to speak.
Yeah.
I definitely felt good going into it. And the shows went great. Eddie Griffin was like, man, you're doing good. He said, I got nothing but respect for you. And then I was on a high for the rest of the week just from what he said.
Because you also do, and it's nothing like edgy, but you do talk about race in your act a lot. You address it, you talk about it. And I think you're honest and you're not offensive, and that really connects with that room, especially those audiences. I mean, you know, because you're up there talking about stuff that, you know, some people want to hear about, and I think that's like that's totally awesome. It's a hard that's a hard tightrope to walk. You know what I mean? And to do it well. And to really connect with like a different group of people, I think that's a really hard thing to do. I mean,
believe me, it took a lot of bombing in some of those rooms to figure that out.
Absolutely.
You know, and which was probably the more terrifying places to bomb, because you know when you do a race set and it bombs in front of a black crowd, well, you feel super low. You're like, man, I better. Is anybody gonna want me to my car? I gotta get out of here.
I gotta run.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But yeah, so that went really well. He was really pleased with it. Nothing happened. Now he was, after he gave me that compliment, he was telling me a story about how him and Andrew Dice Clay started working together. Mm-hmm. He said this is back in about '89. He was in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And Eddie had done a set in this crowd, which was predominantly Italian mobsters up in New York at the time. And Eddie Griffin went straight in for the mob. I mean, he was just going after him in his set. Just no holds barred, you know. And Andrew Dice Clay, after the show, comes up to him and just goes, man, you got some real guts, you know. I tell you what, you got some big guts, you know, coming out here and doing what you did. And he was
Eddie's just like, oh man, what is happening?
Yeah, because this is new Eddie Griffin. This is nobody knows Eddie Griffin at this point.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. You like that? Thank you.
Nobody knows Eddie Griffin. Eddie, don't take my show. I know you're watching.
And he was telling me this cool story about how, you know, he basically was like, oh, I bet you'd like to go on tour with me, huh? Then he'd be freaking out. And Eddie didn't say anything. Comes back the next day, does the same set, kills it again. And then Andrew Dice Clay's like, all right, that's it. You're going on tour with me. And that's just how it happened.
That's awesome.
And Eddie Griffin, he didn't say anything about it. So while Eddie's telling me this story, I'm just like, okay, I don't know why he's telling me this. This is so strange. And then 4 or 5 days later, I get a call from Eddie Griffin's director of operations. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was at work.
Really?
He gives me a call.
Where do you work at?
I work at Fireside. Yeah, it's fine. Fireside Pies in Grapevine.
So you're getting
Texas.
a call. You're at your serving job.
At
you
my
get this
bartending
call.
job. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And she calls me up and she's like, "Hey, you know, this is so and so. I understand you worked with Eddie, you know, at the Arlington Improv. Eddie was really impressed with your set." And she's just saying Eddie. I'm just like, right. You know, Eddie. Me and him are good friends. You know.
Oh, Edward. Eddie. Yeah, my boy. How's Ed doing?
Yeah. Oh, tell Edward I said what up.
How are the kids?
Yeah. Veronica. She doing okay? And she's like, well, he wants to see if you're available.
Put Eddie on the phone.
Yeah. Tell Ed I said, hey. And she's like, yeah, would you be available to come out to Boston next weekend for the live taping for his new special to open for him? He wants you to come out there. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm available. And then she says, this is
they flew you out and everything, right?
Completely took care of me, 100%. Hotel, flight.
Yeah, boy.
Just absolutely made me feel like a princess, to be honest with you. It was wonderful. And but at first she told me, well, we already have an MC lined up. She goes, so we'll know within the hour if we can get you in instead, because Eddie really wants you. Mm-hmm. And so she said, we'll know within the hour. Takes 5 hours.
Damn.
Most excruciating. It was worse than jail, that wait. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Let's wrap this thing up.
Taking work from dudes, though.
Yeah. And
they had to kill a guy and throw him in the harbor. They had to throw him in the harbor.
Some dude's drunk.
Comedian goes missing.
It was crazy, too, because I was working that weekend when I was waiting for that call. That was a Thursday. I hadn't heard from her for 6 hours.
And then, that's awful. I bet that was the longest shift of your life.
Excruciating. And then
just like all these undercover brother lines are just hitting you in your head at random. You're like, I gotta get out of here.
I couldn't do that. See, I'm impatient with stuff like that. That would drive me crazy.
See, I'm the kind of person. I'm unreasonable, so like I would take that moment as an opportunity to quit and be like, "Hey, I made it. I'm out of here," and I would just quit and like say, "You can keep my paycheck."
When he told me Fireside, I did picture like the half-baked scene. Screw you, you're cool.
That's how it is. That's me. I'm like.
And then you don't get it.
Well, when I finally got the call, I was emceeing for the Hyenas in Plano, Texas.
You were working the weekend.
I was working the weekend.
Man,
so it was
it's been a good couple of
this summer's
weeks.
Been great.
Yeah, it's been great for me too. Awesome, dude.
So it was a Thursday, and I'm like literally it's 30 minutes before showtime on the pro show Thursday night at the Hyenas, and then I get the call that I confirmed. So I'm just like on this super high, and then I go into a crowd of 14 on the Thursday free show because it was the week that all the gas shortage was going on.
Yeah.
So I just got this great news of like, oh my gosh, everything's going great. I'm about to go here.
And then a slice of humble pie.
And then just humble pie, man.
That's how it works.
It really is.
And that's like a really...
So I've heard. I've never had any good
I felt like I bombed because
I've never had any good chances.
Do they really want me there? Because I just like... did not do well.
Well, and that's also Plano's a very tough. We were talking about Richie when I was talking with Parker and Tony last week. Casillas and Slavens, we had them on, and we were talking about Plano and just we were talking about road. When you go on the road, different material or words, road tested stuff, it works differently, and even just traveling like an Arlington room, or you travel to Plano, Fort Worth, Dallas, completely different. And Plano's a really already. It's kind of a massive suburb city, and it's just a big. It's a weird room.
It is.
And it's the actual physical room. And when I say it's a weird room, I mean the group of people you have in there. There's no certain demographic. Like Fort Worth, you have a lot of the rich cowboys and stuff. Dallas, you have, the Dallas-ites, uptown Mockingbird Station area. Plano is just a weird mix. And the actual room is physically tall, and it's wide. So when you get that 14, it feels really small.
And dude, they were not even sitting next to each other. It was like table here, table there, table there.
But you take that 14 and you put them at Killers, and you're like, oh, this is a great open mic. Yeah, I'll do this.
It's so strange how that works, but you're absolutely right, man. It just it makes it so difficult to gauge how things are working. And again, like I told you, Plano is, I would say, predominantly white. If I had to give it something. Yeah, but depending on the headliner, obviously, and which that week it was, and because the quote unquote white rooms aren't my strongest.
Have you noticed with race stuff, race stuff, especially if you're getting quote racy with it, how the white audiences will be more scared to laugh at it.
Yeah.
People being the butt of the joke, essentially.
Yeah, they're not as about it.
Yeah,
for certain. Well, and it's strange too.
Where do you think that stems from? Is that
I think it's just the times
we're
in,
and it's just being scared, right?
I think so, but I really think it's the time we're in, strictly just more so for white people. Because what I've recognized is if I do my same race set in a predominantly black room, and there's a couple white people in there, it doesn't matter. The whole room will go crazy.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a great show. But if it's predominantly white,
and then those three white people are like, oh, we're not scared.
They're not scared. We can laugh. If it's predominantly white and there's just a few black people in there, and I do my race set, not only will the white people not laugh out of being uncomfortable, but neither will the black people because they feel singled out.
Are the Hispanics laughing?
Comedy's so weird.
Well,
or would you laugh?
Sometimes.
I don't know. It depends on the joke.
Yeah, it just depends.
Depends on the
if
joke.
It's funny.
Depends on who else is around me in the room.
Right.
So who did you open for at this Plano?
Sean Kent.
Okay, I don't know.
He's got a special out on Showtime. Okay. He's done a couple other things. Really funny guy.
Cool guy too to hang out with. Sometimes headliners are not cool to hang out with. I've had
okay.
He's in the middle.
He was cool until Saturday, and Saturday he was just super just. A little more standoffish than he was the previous days.
He's a regular listener, so no, he's not.
Oh, is he? Good. Well, hey, I tell it how it is, Sean.
Hey. Be more fun.
Yeah, listen.
It's so interesting because, how was Eddie?
Eddie was
great. Hang out with.
He was super. Well, what's weird is when
Did you hang out with him after?
Yeah, everybody had told me that he was kind of not that nice of a guy before I worked with him at Improv. He was great. He flew me out to Boston. We had a great time. He treated me like a peer, like a comedy peer.
Yeah,
like you and me just talking about comedy.
That's awesome.
That's how he treated me, and it felt so surreal because I was like, dude, this is so weird for me right now.
That's
just so out of.
You tell him that?
That's how I felt with Brian. The biggest I've got to was Brian Posehn. That's how I felt, and I used to love him from Sarah Silverman's show, and so. When we were after the show, he started feeling better. He was sick the first show, and then I guess they got him medicine. He gradually started, and then he was inviting me. He's like, hey, let's go. You want to go to the bar, take some shots, or you want to and he was just really cool, and whenever you get that, and this is the guy you've seen on TV, and they're awesome. And then the last, and I'm not going to name names. I had a headliner who was just not fun. He was the whole entire week, and coughing on the mic the whole weekend. He was just awful. He was just terrible. And
hey, Seinfeld,
take that, Jerry. But it's just you will really appreciate getting to work with guys that you look up to, and when they're awesome, and that makes me try to want to be different. When a new comic comes into a scene, or you see him at a mic, try and be nice and not sometimes I'm in my own head trying to get ready for biz, but if you know how new comics are. Sometimes they'll come up and talk to you, and they're over. They don't have it understood yet. They're like, oh, I have all this material, man. I got this.
They've been waiting to talk to you just so they can like
run it all, and they'll always run the jokes, and so that becomes draining.
It is,
but you learn that just with comedy comes, and I'm sure with Hip Hop Magic or things, your expectations actually you understand what to realize what you're doing, and you just learn with it, and so there's always going to be that learning curve or that gap, if you're working with a headliner as opposed to, and I just try and be cool to those guys and not bother them too much. And if they're really cool, then I'll engage conversation.
That's kind of what I did. I just kind of kicked back, tried to do my own, because
that's a big name guy. You don't want to be like Eddie Griffin.
Well, not only that, but you got to think. I mean, this was the taping of his special that he's probably going to try to sell to Showtime or Netflix, and so because of that, this is a huge night for Eddie.
Yeah,
and that's why I kept thinking he's nervous.
Yeah,
he's getting up, having a good breakfast, getting his mind right. Last thing I'm going to do is be like, "Hey, Eddie, man, I'm so excited to be
about
here."
You,
right? Which is because it's completely not. But then it was a really cool moment too, because we were sitting there down in like this little lounge area, and he's got music playing. He's got this dude that like burns sage for him as like his pre-ritual thing.
Hilarious.
To get rid of demons or whatever it is.
I've heard so many funny pre-ritual stories about headliners.
It was one of my favorites because like the dude's just sitting there making sure the smoke gets in every room, the sage burning. But then at one point, Eddie's just in his pants he's going to wear for the show. He's got a wife beater tucked in. He doesn't have, he doesn't wrinkle up his suit. He's got his fro. He's already got his makeup going on. He's just kind of walking around the room. Just walking around, and he just kind of looks over. Hey, Jamie, man, don't forget to have fun. This guy does this thing.
The wink and the point.
Yeah, the wink and the point. And
that's
hilarious. And I wear goofy socks whenever I perform. Just to remind myself to have fun. And I go, no worry. And I kind of told him that's
under
that's
the pants.
Yeah, under the pants.
Okay.
It's not
wearing
just for
some
me.
Shorts and some highs.
No,
it's just for you. This is your thing.
It's just for me to remind myself to have a good time.
That's an interesting.
And I told him that
comedy superstitions are hilarious.
Yeah, it's just more like a good reminder while I'm putting it on.
Yeah, but it still kind of becomes a ritualistic thing.
It is. And I told him, I was like, no, this is why I wear these socks. And right when I did that, it just reminded me to have fun. He goes, and he puts his foot up on this table, and he lifts his pants, and he's got some goofy socks on. Yeah, I was like, it was a really cool moment.
That's cool.
So
oh my,
it was neat.
Oh my god, and I blanked on this too. And like my buddy Wes Stein, he books out in Durango, Colorado area, and Josh Blue from Last Comic Standing. He's for those that don't know, he's famous for being the cerebral palsy comic, and he's hilarious. Kind of, looks like a white version of Richie, with the big puffy hair. Have you seen him before?
Kind of does.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's very funny.
My kind of guy.
He's very, very funny. But so he's from Denver. They booked him. Flew him out to Durango, and they said the way he warms up for a show, he literally takes off his shirt, since Indian style, pulls up his iPad, watches Eminem live in concert, and smokes some of those Colorado cigarettes, and just sits in there and I guess just pounds smoke after smoke, and then just goes up there and kills.
Wow.
The guy I traveled with actually out to Colorado, Mikey, who's been on the show, Mikey B.
Oh yeah.
Mikey sits there to himself, I learned, in a room, and will sing along to Clint Eastwood, the Gorillaz. And that's just how he gets himself pumped up.
See, I used to have
I don't
some
do
weird
anything
rituals.
like that. I think I'm doing comedy wrong.
It's all, everybody's got their own thing.
I need to find a thing.
Yeah. I would listen to My Bongo. There's a song. I don't know. I don't want to look it up.
It's called My Bongo.
It's something about bongoing. I don't know. I just used to I randomly found it on Spotify. Is it a song with
bongo drums in it?
Yeah. Okay. But this guy, I just remember hearing it one time on my Spotify while I was getting ready for a show, and then I just kind of made it a thing where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this song again.
This is my jam.
And it was before shows, I would just almost, and then I would do it almost just because people would be around me, and I wanted them to be like, damn. Richie listens to some weird bongo song that's
drums.
My bongo, boom, 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 or something.
Is that how it goes?
It's not. I mean, it's not hip hop or anything. It's just so from left field. But sometimes I want that. I don't want to I want to feel a certain way and then go in front of people and be like, whoa. And
it's like
almost be a shock.
It's like a tranquil thing, because that's the thing. When it comes to music that I listen to beforehand, I don't listen to a lot of things that are intense to pump you up. I listen to actually really chill music because I like to kind of bring myself more to a piece than I do amps.
I don't like to listen if I'm about to do a show, especially a longer set, and I have to think, or even if I'm writing something kind of in the moment. I won't listen to songs with lyrics in them. So
like instrumentals
real,
or something.
Real smooth, jazzy, like new wave hip hop instrumental kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Or like even they have a really cool 88.1. There's a jazz station out here that I'll just go to, and you know if it's not too swingy, I don't like that swing jazz. I like that like calm, like melody. You know, I can get in my head and just drive and hopefully not fall asleep at the wheel. But
sexy jazz, I like to call it.
Sexy.
What's the song they always play at Hyenas? They Rage Against the Machine when you go up, right? Handlebars starts when they're like about to
Handlebars,
and then the
Handlebars.
song I forgot what the other one is. Yeah, they play the Handlebar song. I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
What is it?
It's not that one. It's you're thinking Bulls on Parade. It's not Bulls on Parade. It's something. It's something weird. But yeah, they play like a hype up song. I don't even know if it is.
Man, anytime I hear that song though, I just think Hyenas. I'm like, because that moment. Going on that stage and those lights.
As soon as I hear Handlebars going on, I'm like, okay, it's game time. Here we go.
I talked about that with Parker and Tony last week, and we're not going to keep bringing it up, but you ever, like, get up there, you know, like you run up because they're like, and here, you know, clubs, and you're trying to squeeze through all the people, and then you get up, those lights come on, and you realize you're just short of breath immediately. Yeah. Has that ever?
Yes. And you're like, hey, everybody. How's it going? And everybody's like, man, this guy's nervous. I'm like, no, I'm just like, I'm out of breath.
I used to have this thing where immediately once I'd get on stage, I remember that I didn't pee. And then I would forget everything I was supposed to do. I'd be on and just forget anything.
Yeah, we brought it back. Peed in the harbor.
It wasn't until I was like actually having to rap that I remembered any of my words. Yeah. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm up here again. How did I get on another stage in front of these people? What is my life? And I forgot my words. This is the same thing Beyonce goes through. That's why she has her.
I am just like Beyonce.
Yeah, this is the same thing Beyonce feels.
I'm no different.
Sasha Fierce. So, Eddie Griffin, man, that was awesome. Boston, you didn't get to spend much time in the city.
Awesome.
No, I just had that one night.
Where was it at in Boston?
It was at the Berkeley Performance Theater.
Jeez,
so, yeah, dude, it was, huge room, 1,200 people, double-decker, has the biggest room
Comedy's
I've ever seen.
Fun when things are going good, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's definitely better than doing Strokers last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, and see, now it gets to that thing where it's like I had a really eventful summer. I got to go on the road a lot. I got paid. It was fun. I had a great summer for comedy, and now it's going to slow down a little bit. Yeah. Like, I'm realizing that. I was looking at my calendar. I'm like, oh. Like, I'm just back to, like, the...
Well, yeah, like this weekend. Like, I don't really have much going on.
Isn't that such a bummer? That's like...
It's so weird.
So I have a bunch of friends who are musicians, and they always go through these depressions, and I finally realized that that's all it is. It's just your lows that you should really just be... You should really just be productive.
Well, that's a good moment to write. That's a good moment to create. That's a good moment.
But most people don't know what to do. They're just like, I don't know what to do right now because last night I had a show and there was 500 people there, and now today nobody even called me and asked me how I was doing.
Like, it is.
You might be on the news. We won't. We'll wait. Everyone should watch Fox 4 today. I think Richie might be on the news.
Yeah, check it out.
Speaking of news. Look at these segues, son. Look at these segues. It is weird news time.
Do we have a weird news thing or no? Not yet.
No, we don't. You want to do what's the weird news song today?
When you're happy and you know it, weird news. What?
That was me clapping. All right. So, this first one, I haven't really looked. It seems pretty funny. Jake has a picture for it. It's the second one there. But we'll pull it up in a minute, Jake. Given the sorry but expected markup of alcohol prices at music festivals, revelers try their luck at sneaking their own in. Everyone has done this. I have done this. Shout out ACL. Most venues don't allow outside beverages to be taken through the gates or at least impose sorry limitations on guest allowances. How do you get around the rule? So recently people have been hollowing out bread and hiding bottles inside of loaves of bread. So
what's with these people?
It's just a loaf of bread, officer.
Jake, scroll down on that one because there's a picture of, there it is. It's Smirnoff inside the hoagie, wrapped with meat and everything.
Is that salami? That's awesome.
Yeah, Calico or something. Yeah. And
they're working way too hard. You just have to simply make a shoe that inside there's an insert. Okay, so inside the shoe,
magic secret.
There's a shoe that has it's like
secret compartment. What about the book trick in the movies? You know how the kids always cut out the book
Oh,
and they keep
like the
their
pages?
They keep their stash
Oh,
of
I've
their money in
tried.
there or something.
Like the
You
hammer
get-
in the Bible with Shawshank Redemption style.
You get like 3 or 4
I've tried.
pages down. You're like, I'm
I'm
not
not
doing
doing
this.
this.
Oh my gosh,
Nothing.
it doesn't even look like a square.
Right. And who's bringing a full on like thick novel to a
Yeah,
festival anyway?
for
Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like,
Let me bring Grey's Anatomy.
right.
Okay, so others other than the sandwich, other people have been known, and I've heard about this. Put them in like you clean out the sunscreen bottle. They call it sun cream. You sunscreen bottle. And
No,
then
sun
you put
cream's
it in
different.
An American man named Alex Diamond has been hailed for employing another savvy move. Burying his booze at the festival site before the event and digging it up again once it's begun and he's
No
inside.
way.
He Shawshanked his booze.
He did.
He Shawshanked.
He buried it weeks before.
Weeks.
Like he found the location, figured
Yeah.
out where he's going to do it, and he buries his alcohol. You know what? God bless this man.
That's the picture of him that Jake has. Look at him. So, this guy looks like someone who would totally.
Yeah, he's so
look
happy.
At his goob.
so proud.
I mean, he doesn't look like he'd win a Nobel Prize, but that's just the glasses choice.
3 weeks before Electric Zoo 2017, Alex from New York traveled to Randall's Island. I'm assuming that's why New York too, where he buried a water bottle full of vodka. He said he was inspired by pirates. Quote, I've been going to Electric Zoo for over 4 years now, so I know the layout very well. He's been planning for. He literally Shawshanked. He waited for his moment.
He did.
Bought 4 years worth of tickets.
But you know what happened is the year before this, he was probably like, I'm tired of spending this much money.
Yeah.
And started looking around, planning for next year. Like,
Exactly.
okay, you know what? We're going to try over here by the by the booths.
On whatever substance he's on, just, Rain Manning it. The planning of the burial was simple. We used Google Maps and marked our spot on the GPS so we know where it would be. Then we waited. It wasn't easy. Alex said finding his vodka was easy enough. Wait, it wasn't easy. Alex said finding his vodka. X marks the spot, but it was difficult to unearth without attracting the attentions of security guards.
See, that's what I'd be worried about.
Like, what do you bring a shovel with you?
Right.
Like,
Quote, it was a bit of an operation, but in the end we got through it. So you have a bunch of people, I guess, circle around or something? I don't know.
But you can't have too many people. He has
You
one
Shawshank it
bottle.
like the poster. You just have everyone sit in a circle around a picnic blanket. The picnic blanket has I guess you would cut a circle out of it, right?
Yeah,
And then you have
yeah.
someone in the middle just sitting there digging.
No, it's easier than that. You build a boot.
Uh-oh,
Make a
magic
boot.
secrets.
You put a
You're
boot.
still on the shoe compartments? You're still
no,
on
you have a boot with a shovel. Everything can be done in boots.
Everything's done with shoes?
Yeah, dude, I have Swiss Army boots.
Are you telling me something about magic here?
wait, is this like a boot that like has like a switchblade coming out of it? And you're just
Everything.
like kicking the
Dude,
dirt
it has
in,
a
like, trying to
huge nail
shove it.
file.
Yeah.
For horses.
Oh, and speaking of that too, Jake, give me like a signal before you play the music whenever it's magic. Quote, the objective once we got into the festival, here we go, was to remove the bottle without attracting attention. The hardest part was trying not to raise any suspicions because there's quite a lot of cameras and festival staff around. Once we got to the spot, he huddled around it. He did a double take, make sure we were clear, and then one of us dug up the vodka. All in all, it only took 10 minutes.
Woo!
Wow. That is a W for that guy.
Job well done to him.
I mean,
I'll give it up
and
for
I
him.
want to see how many FLs there were, though.
You want to see how many what?
FOs?
FOs? What's that?
Fluid ounces.
Oh, fluid.
Because I just
I
want to
don't
make
think that's
sure.
right. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't think that's what.
I don't know.
The
FOs,
abbreviation is. I don't,
Yeah, how many
acronym-
FOs that carry? About 70.
I don't think that's right.
I want to know how many.
FOs.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I never claimed to be either.
How many FOs are in this gallon?
And they used 400 FOs of propane.
I'm not going to lie. I totally thought you meant flying objects, ones that were unidentified.
I mean, I can't
Just
identify 'em.
identified flying objects.
And Jake, if you want to get ready to pull this one up in a bit, you don't have to pull it up yet. It's the other one I sent you. Mysterious sea monster with razor-sharp fangs washed up on Texas beach after Hurricane Harvey. Scientists are baffled.
What, that happened on a Texas beach?
Yeah, pull that picture up, Jake. Let's
That
let
is-
the people see it.
That's
It
a
looks-
scary-looking monster.
Yeah, it's like a dinosaur
snake
whale.
whale.
It's a snake whale.
It's a snake whale.
How many FOs can that snake hold?
That's
snake whale hold.
Wait, hold on. Does it have claws?
A mysterious sea monster washed up on the beach with fangs. Clearly has baffled experts. The huge creature was found decaying on a beach in Texas City. Who's ever been to Texas City? Where's Texas City? Is
Oh,
that
I've
by
heard
Galveston?
of Texas City. Yeah, it is.
It's in Texas.
It's it's in Texas or by Galveston, off kind of by Kemah area, all that area.
You think
past
Texas
Houston.
City would be a bigger deal? You know?
Do you?
Yeah.
It's like
You think it'd be like Houston, Dallas, Texas City?
Texas City.
Well, they got Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We all know the
cool.
classic.
New York
you know?
City.
Yeah.
I guess that's
that's
Chicago
City.
Chicago City, Boston City,
Florida City,
Miami City.
That's hilarious.
Vice City. Huh? Okay. A
yeah.
mysterious monster washed up beach. The huge creature was found decaying in Texas City, but conservationists have no idea what it is.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but
Fake.
I don't believe in monsters.
Yeah, okay, Richie. You believe in magic.
Yeah, that's so weird. So they don't even know what it is? I mean, that must have been some sort of deep sea style species, you know, for them not even know what it is.
So
you
have
know?
no idea what it is, but with some suggesting
Snake whale.
Keyword here,
Snail.
it might be a massive eel. That is the biggest eel I have
As I said,
ever
it was a snake
seen.
eel. It was a snake eel.
How long? I wonder
Snail.
if
Yeah, that would
because that
make
angle.
sense.
Because also, here's the thing. That you know how they say like if you're taking a picture of a fish you caught, you hold it closer to the camera to make it look bigger.
Yeah.
That angle could totally be.
No. That's about the size of the Grand Canyon. You can see in the curves of the Grand Canyon.
Shut up. How long do you really think that is, Richie?
14 feet.
Do you really think that's 14 feet?
Yeah, it's not that big. It's probably about. Look how small that little rock is.
I would say like.
I'm thinking like 25.
25 feet?
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at prints like of shoe prints,
way.
and all I see like something that looks like a shoe print in the bottom right
that's
corner.
a good way to like think of it though.
But
dang, huh?
I'm trying to look at that seashell. Is that a seashell or a boulder?
So I can.
Oh, that's not big. That's not much bigger than a sack of potatoes.
Picture's been wildly.
Well, it depends what
the
kind of.
picture's been wildly shared.
Yeah, how many FOs in that?
How
sack
many
of potatoes,
FOs
so.
of potatoes? It's
Liquid
been
potatoes.
shared a lot. The conservation group, the National Dubon Society, which discovered the bizarre beast, the group social media manager Preeti Desi said, I was out on the Texas coast after Hurricane Harvey assessing sites to see how they fared after the storm with a team of folks from Dubon, Texas. We were on beach, Texas City, saw this thing from afar, so I got closer to figure out what it was. Huge interest. All right, dude, come on.
Does it say how close he got?
I'm looking. On first glance, it looked like something from deep sea to me. When it got close, they didn't know because of the mouth. They squished it around a bit just to see if it would talk to them, I guess.
They squished it? Like they kind of pressed on it?
Some suggested it wasn't. I don't know. Some of the biologists suggested an eel. So really, I want to see how long it is.
Do we have?
We get it. Like literally,
measurements
we get
or
it.
weight?
No, not at all. We get it. You don't know what it is. That's what it all. They think it could be. Okay. Well, nobody can be sure exactly what the creature was. Dr. Kenneth Teague.
There's a straw. But wait. If you look up.
Can we show that, Jake?
Go up. Scroll up a little bit.
On the.
There's a car, and if you look how big the car is.
What are you talking?
Go up a little higher.
Richie, stop.
Compared to that's about the size of two cars.
Mazda ad.
It's a huge straw.
Well, nobody can be sure exactly what the creature was. Dr. Kenneth Teague of the
there, it's
Smithsonian.
tiny. Dude, it's about the size of a riblet. Like a rib.
So Dr. Kenneth Teague at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, which I've been trying to get out for 2 minutes, thinks it could be a fang-tooth snake eel. Also known as the tusky eel. You did call it a snake whale.
Well, yeah, because that makes it look a lot smaller.
It's a species. Yeah, it does make it look. It's a species. That makes it look like what, 7 feet maybe?
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal size. It's also known as a
7
tusky
feet.
eel.
Look at those tiny little seashells. That's like about the size of a sea cucumber.
That's not a cucumber. Tusky eel. It's a species native Gulf of Mexico, which lurks in deep oceans, devours bony fish and crustaceans. I don't know what that is.
Crustaceans.
Keeping up with the crustaceans.
Keeping up. Clearly, I have not.
Oh my gosh.
That's still weird. It's weird to me though that if something like that it would be. I mean, a snake eel is very well known. Why is it baffling? These marine biologists?
Snake eels? I made that up.
But what I'm saying is, if something like this, if it's just known, it's not too small. Why is it baffling people? I mean, it seems like this is something that should be well known. For the marine biology.
Speaking of baffling, I think it's a good segue into our next segment, which may be the. How are we doing on time? Are we running?
We're about close, Jake, or what? What are we doing here? About 3 minutes.
I thought there was a ban on Segways though. You were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, I know.
No, they just discontinued them.
No, we just got the update after I made that really clever. Which one was it? The weird news Segway changed the game. You know, they're like, wow, we got to bring back Joe and Richie Segways. It really makes the show. So baffling, I guess. Yeah, because there's not a lot of good weird news. They found 40 cows just that had got loose and ended up in some weird UK neighborhood. So that's about all we have for you left. But Richie has something we haven't done in a while. You got some magic.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to actually do a trick.
Well, remember, you got to describe stuff too, because
you describe it
while you're doing it.
Yeah, while I'm doing it. So right now I'm pulling out these cards.
Richie's pulling cards out of a card box.
And it doesn't really matter. They're all the same, right?
Okay. Am I picking?
No. Here's what you do. Just say stop anywhere.
Okay. Stop.
All right. Take it. Don't show me. Show the camera though.
Okay.
Jamie grabbed it. He's showing the camera. I can't. I'm trying to see what that is.
Am I supposed to look?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
No, I didn't see it, but you can. Y'all
you
take
can
a
look at it. I want to see what it is. Okay, so Jamie has a certain card.
Okay.
Put it here. Here's what we do. Look.
And he put it back in the middle of the deck. Richie's doing some shuffling, some weird gambit moves.
This card right here, this may not work. This is probably not going to work. Hopefully it doesn't work because it would be way better.
He just cut the deck like 10 times in a weird fashion.
He did.
And is it on top? It is not.
It is not.
That is not your card. I didn't say. I was just like, oh, that's not your card.
Richie pulled the wrong card. Confirmed he's not magic.
No.
Is not your card.
No, it is not.
Also not his card. So the first two. Not
You're doing great.
Those are not his cards,
really
right?
Talented. Not his card as he shows the camera.
So here's the thing. Okay.
Okay, now he's thumbing through. He's looking at the deck, thumbing through. And now he put it back down, face down.
No, same one.
Still not his card.
Okay, what was your card for the first time?
It was the 10 of diamonds.
10 of diamonds. Richie.
No, still not.
Richie keeps pulling the top card, and it is still the 3 of clubs.
Okay, but look,
Richie.
here's the thing. Look. This may not work, but sometimes if you count TENOFDIAMOND.
With each thing he spells.
What was it?
10 of diamonds.
He spelled 10
of diamonds.
Oh.
Very well done.
Okay.
But thank you.
Gypsy.
That was good.
And we can cue that plug music. Jake, you got any plugs coming up, Jamie?
I'll be at the Improv Arlington next Wednesday for our Laughter Saves Lives Foundation show benefiting the Arlington Humane Society.
Nice. That's
it's
Improv?
a cause for paws.
Nice.
Also benefiting an animal shelter. And then I'll be at the Fort Worth Hyenas with Chris Porter headlining all next weekend.
You'll also be at what I would like to plug, North Texas Comedy Festival.
Heck
Is that correct?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Hold up that flyer for those people. I'm going to plug that real quick, guys. North Texas Comedy Festival, October 5th through 7th. We have headliners Slade Ham, Jay Wycott, and Latrice Allen, all Texas headliners, amazing comics. It is $10 per show for the 3 days. There are 5 shows, or you can get a wristband for the whole entire weekend for $25. Over 40 comedians, 5 different stages. Killers Tacos, Bearded Monk, Abbey, Underground, Backyard on Bell. A lot of awesome places. I also was going to plug for some friends this Saturday at Killers Tacos. There's some DJs playing. Zeus, Samo, and Jordan Dunbar. Dallas Observer will be there. Dunlight Productions. So go check that out. A big party at Killers on Saturday.
Yeah.
But do not forget, North Texas Comedy Festival. Follow us at NT Comedy Fest on Instagram, ntcomedyfest.com. Buy your tickets there. Again, only $25 for a great weekend of comedy. You can catch Jamie. You can catch myself. Richie's going to be hanging out.
Y'all might see me out there eating something.
You might get to meet your heroes that you do not know about. Jamie, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, y'all. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And that's it. Episode 18, every 5:30, every Wednesday. Not every 5:30.
Every Wednesday at 5:30.
Every Wednesday. Check us out, iHeartRadio, iTunes. I can't finish. Let's do this. Bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.